What we really care about on the Hill, of course, is what about jobs in our district, as well as what about new technologies that we can help our constituents take advantage of. Josh is here to do the reality test of sort of both Wall Street and sort of the economics of all of this coming forward. Josh is Associate Analyst at Legg Mason Equity Research. He joined them in 2003 after working for Bloomberg here in Washington, D.C., so he gets the economics of what we do as well as the economics of this industry. He's been covering broadband equipment industry, currently working on expanded coverage, including mobile terminals, infrastructure, and operating system. He follows some wireless equipment companies that we care about, or especially if they have plants in our district: Nokia, Ericsson, Motorola, Lucent, Nortel. When he was a reporter, he followed many of these same issues, so he's used to speaking in English. He has a degree from the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. And at the end, he promised me he's even going to tell us what stocks we should buy or sell. Josh, have at it. Whichever.
I'll sit here. That's fine.
Can they see you? Good.
Okay. Well, I don't really want to be giving you all stock advice. Not at this time.
Oh, come on! I got my my BlackBerry here. It's connected to my stockbroker.
Good luck. I want to start off and sort of give my own disclosure here, as I've become sort of so accustomed to doing in the brave new world of financial regulations. The first thing I want all of you to understand is kind of, I could be absolutely wrong with everything I'm about to tell you.
Nobody on the Hill ever has that problem.
When you start talking, as John said, about disruptive technologies, it gets very complicated because those certain things come clear to certain businesses. Business models change, policies are made, and people, believe it or not, as these graphics show, they may not even want all this kind of stuff. I don't know if you want it. I don't necessarily want it. That being said, I'll sort of try to start. Now, I will say, speaking as the third panelist, a lot's already been covered, so I'm going to kind of rush through and get to so we can get to your questions to better serve what you all want. So to think that what we're here for is to discuss the fact in 10 years we'll be able to log on to the internet from on your laptop from Starbucks or McDonald's or Jiffy Lube for that matter. It's really missing the point. You'll be able to do that, but in many cases, I mean, that's really possible today, whether you're using Wi-Fi or wide area networks. What that is really just an extension of a current phenomenon. I mean, in all likelihood, it's faster, it's cheaper, but for all intents and purposes, the service is the exact same thing. The function is the same. So it's really like the first generation of mobile phones, like you were talking about with voice. They apparently did amazing things, but all they really did was allow voice calls on the go. So what I really want to address is how connectivity on the internet enables a whole new set of data applications and really creates a whole new value chain in wireless. So what the internet actually becomes, in my view, is sort of what it was intended to be, which is the information superhighway, and is really the enabler in wireless technology. So the wireless internet basically becomes this new platform for development and the transfer of information. It becomes a new platform for device integration. And when I say devices, I don't just mean, your iPods, your BlackBerries, your mobiles, all of which weigh me down every day, but I'm talking about cars, computers, televisions, washing machines, microwaves, lights, cameras, whatever you can really imagine, even books through the RFID tags. So, clearly there are a lot of companies that I follow that are making headway in all these areas. Nortel, Motorola, Nokia, Ericsson, they're all doing things here. So, first I want to talk about some of the new applications, and then I'll kind of get in a little bit to some of the policy issues that come up. So, take a look at what IBM announced this week. If you missed it, IBM basically said they're going to develop a whole new set of business applications designed to work entirely through the internet. Your word processing program no longer needs to be run on a Microsoft system or an Apple or a Linux or Sun. No matter where you are, the environment is, it's through the internet, so you can access it anywhere. Some other examples could be in your car, where maybe an LCD panel in the front or back seat could play music or video from your home server or from a centralized server where you purchase content, either through Apple or through Motorola or through wireless carriers like Verizon Wireless. What's going to be neat, though, is when these new wireless networks actually enable us to buy content. And, of course, this is all happening over the Internet. So, in some ways, the way we know the Internet now in 15 years, it more or less disappears. What the Internet is valuable for in 15 years is the functionality it provides and the common platform it provides. Other examples, maybe paying tolls, finding parking spaces, video conferencing, looking at a presentation, finding information about books or music, musicians, just by touching a device. I mean, imagine walking into a bookstore, touching your mobile phone to a book, and all of a sudden having all the information, being able to even purchase the book just by doing that. So really, this new realm of application development is what creates this new value chain in the wireless space. Now, the policy issues that arise are somewhat complicated. Of course, you're getting into digital rights management, some privacy concerns, as you can see from all those different interactions. You don't want everybody looking at you all the time. And obviously, there are spectrum issues when you get into licensed, unlicensed. There are security issues, interstate commerce issues. I'd say that you all probably have a much tougher job than any of us do. But the bottom line is, from a policy perspective, I'm sort of the belief that giving as much freedom to the information and to the content as possible, while also making the most available spectrum, is really the best thing to do, the best policy to pursue. So, the bigger the canvas for entrepreneurs to develop new applications and new devices, really the better I think we all are. So, the key to all this, as Jim said, really are these new devices and these new networks that are going to start emerging. Now, I want to actually get back to a point that John made earlier when he broke the network into the local area and the wide area. We've actually done some looking here, some research here, and we've broken it one step further into the personal area. So, your Wi-Fi and your mesh is the local, your wide area, your cellular, and your personal are these RFID tags, your Bluetooth. And what a lot of companies like the Motorola's of the world and the Nokias are doing is they're actually trying to combine all three of these networks onto one device and have smart devices and smart networks that are aware, really, of what network you're on and what the best networks are to access these applications. As far as, Nortel is doing it, Lucent's doing it, like I said, Ericsson, Motorola, all these big wireless infrastructure providers. What they're also doing on the device side is interesting as well. Now, from a device side, the key, as both the other panelists have pointed out, is simplicity, ease of use, and really intuitiveness. You can only look at the growth of the MP3 market, and pretty much this device did it all. Before the iPod, there really wasn't much. So what a lot of these companies are doing, Nokia, they're out there making mobile gaming devices. Motorola is out there making mobile music devices. Samsung is out making mobile video devices. And, as consumers begin to use this stuff more and more, there become more and more opportunities, again, to build that wireless value chain. So, again, I don't want to repeat a lot of the stuff that's been said, but, what I kind of want to leave you with is we really are at the beginning stages, and the most you can do from a policy perspective is to free up as much spectrum as you can, improve the efficiency of the spectrum that's being used, and really, allow for the exchange of media and let it develop in a competitive market. Of course, as you get into some of these spectrum issues, you start stepping on toes of people like Verizon and Nextel and, a number of other carriers out there. But unless we're in a competitive environment, you're going to see a lot of the innovation that we're talking about up here really stymied. So,
great. All right, more questions up here. I got a couple, but I need some.